The All Elite Wrestling Draft is back, and we are speculating where the recent WWE releases end up. On today's episode, we're putting on the big board Chelsea Green. Unfortunately, Chelsea Green didn't have the best of luck in WWE. She had her debut match on NXT and got injured. She has her debut match on SmackDown, gets injured. Before she could get fully healed, she's released by WWE. She is engaged to Zack Ryder, who has, obviously tie-ins with Cody Rhodes. And I'm pretty sure she's very good friends with one Britt Baker, and they were part of the Fatal 4-Way at All In. So there's definitely tie-ins to AEW no matter where you go. I think this one here is the sleeper out of all the releases on who could be the biggest name and come out the best for whoever signs them. It's Chelsea Green.
Well, she got a lot of praise from following her release from a lot of people within the industry and even a lot of legends too. I think Mick Foley gave her some praise.
I think so.
So, if it were a couple people getting around her and trying to say, she has what it takes, you're going to see that. I think anytime somebody gets released, but when a lot of good prominent individuals come out and support you, that's a big indicator that, look, this person's probably got something behind her.
Yeah, I agree. And I think a lot of people who only know her because of her couple matches on NXT and her match that she had on SmackDown where she got injured may not know her run in Impact. And if you don't, search Laurel Van Ness.
Yeah.
Because that was a great character on Impact Wrestling. And she is a very good wrestler. Unfortunately, we didn't get to really see that in WWE. And I think she would be such a great asset in AEW, where I know, they say a lot of women's wrestlers in AEW are very green and they're probably the weak link in AEW. But imagine her and Britt Baker in a storyline and you could tie in their friendship together. I think that would be really good TV and give Britt Baker some kind of nemesis to focus on, especially if Thunder Rosa eventually leaves AEW to stay full-time at NWA. Bring in Chelsea Green for that.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think there's a lot of interesting storylines, not just for an AEW, but other promotions. I think, going back, Impact could be something that we might see.
I can see that.
Yeah, I mean, this would be one of those things where it wouldn't be as, I don't know if egregious is the right word, but if AEW were to go out of their way and sign, a Mickey James, a Samoa Joe, a Andrade, like I said, you're always going to have those fans that are going to be like, oh, look, they're just signing other former WWE talent. But with somebody like her, especially considering at this point, you might even be able to say the thing that she's most well known for was the gimmick she had outside of the WWE. I don't think it would be that you wouldn't get that type of reaction for them bringing her in, because she was never really cemented as like a WWE talent. So
right. I think she would be a great asset to AEW. But you brought up Impact Wrestling. I brought up the fact that that's where she made her name with the Laurel Van Ness gimmick. But, the fact that she's engaged to Zack Ryder, who is currently in Impact Wrestling, you obviously think Impact could be a really easy possibility for her to go there, if not AEW.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think that might be a likely landing spot for her.
And you know what? There's a lot of possible matches there too. She's really good friends with Deonna Purrazzo. I remember when we were at WrestleMania 35, where our seats were, we could see the people leaving the ramp and going backstage. They didn't go up the ramp. They went to the side of the ramp and walked behind it. And there was a picture that I took of Deonna Purrazzo and Chelsea Green. I think they could have a really good match together for that Knockouts Championship in Impact Wrestling. Obviously, her and Jordan Grace would be another good match. She could definitely have some good matches there. So, I mean, Impact Wrestling would be a very good landing spot. And, of course, because she's engaged to Zack Ryder, it's an easy storyline to put her and Ryder on TV together as well. So, with that said, where do you see Chelsea Green going? AEW or somewhere else?
I am going to say she goes back to Impact.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's where she ends up. I think she's going to end up in Impact Wrestling. Do you think she brings back Laurel Van Ness?
I think that she probably should, because it was, it's different. I think it was the thing that really got her noticed. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
had she not done that, can we realistically say, and, I'm not saying she's not talented, but that gimmick or that character that she kind of created, I think was the thing that really got her attention from a lot of people within the industry and got
Yep.
a lot of attention by the fans.
Mm-hmm.
So why not revisit that? Especially if you're going to go back to Impact, why not?
Yeah, I agree. And I think if you bring it back, I'm sure you can use some kind of storyline where she's trying to marry somebody else because Grotto's not there anymore. So I'm sure there's some foreigner trying to get their visa. They could do that whole storyline all over again, and Laurel Van Ness could marry them, whoever the case may be. But I love that character. And I'm so disappointed that WWE never took the advantage of trying to bring that character to WWE. But, like other previously made gimmicks, they found a way to mess them up anyway. So maybe it was better that they didn't use the Laurel Van Ness character and not damage it like maybe Broken Matt Hardy did as Woken Matt Hardy in WWE. But I agree with you. I think Impact Wrestling is where she ends up. Where does Mickie James go in the All Elite Wrestling Draft? Click the thumbnail on the screen right now to check out that conversation and subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications, and we'll see you on the next episode of the Squared Circle Psycho Babble.